Burkina Faso's intelligence community received an alarming report. Sensitive government information was leaking to foreign entities. The breach posed a significant threat to national security, and the president himself, Ibrahim Traoré, was briefed on the matter. "This isn't just a small leak," Kaba, the head of counterintelligence, informed him. "This is a coordinated network of spies embedded within our systems. If they aren't stopped, our entire nation could be at risk." Ibrahim, known for his methodical and decisive leadership, wasted no time. "We will dismantle this network piece by piece," he declared. "Kaba, assemble your best team. This will be an operation of precision and secrecy." Ibrahim Traoré's reputation as a master strategist was well earned, and when faced with the threat of a deeply embedded spy network, he knew that swift and calculated action was crucial. His plan was meticulous, designed to expose the infiltrators and neutralize the threat without causing unnecessary panic or disrupting the nation's day-to-day operations. The first step was understanding the enemy's methods, and Ibrahim knew that if they were to succeed, every move had to be precise. Step 1. Counterintelligence tactics. The primary focus of the operation was to identify the spies working within the country's institutions. Ibrahim's trusted head of counterintelligence, Kaba, was tasked with overseeing this vital mission. Kaba had spent years gathering intelligence, developing a network of informants, and building a reputation as a brilliant tactician in his own right. But this time, the challenge was greater. The network was well organized, spanning both the government and military, and the infiltrators had been operating in the shadows for months, if not years. Kaba's team began with careful surveillance of key government officials, focusing on those who had been in high-level positions and had access to sensitive information. Using advanced tracking methods, they monitored communication channels, both digital and physical. Every call, every encrypted email, and every suspicious meeting was scrutinized. The spies used sophisticated tactics to cover their tracks, but Kaba's team was determined to catch them. Jean, Ibrahim's loyal ally and a highly skilled operative, led a smaller covert unit within the counterintelligence team. His job was to infiltrate the inner circles of the most trusted government officials. Jean's unit focused on identifying unusual behavior, like unexplained wealth or the sudden change in allegiances. They knew that the spies were likely trying to build networks within the government, and their mission was to follow the breadcrumbs. With Kaba and Jean's teams working tirelessly, they began to uncover a pattern. The spies were feeding information to foreign intelligence agencies, and many of them had direct ties to opposition forces hoping to destabilize Burkina Faso. But the full scope of the network was still unclear, so Ibrahim had to make a bold decision. Step 2. Decoy operations. To outsmart the spies and draw them out, Ibrahim ordered the implementation of decoy operations, false information designed to mislead the network and reveal their location. False intelligence would be deliberately planted within the government's communications infrastructure. Ibrahim knew that the spies were relying on the information they were receiving to plan their actions. And by feeding the misinformation, he could force them into revealing themselves. The decoys involved several high-profile government decisions that would normally require confidentiality, such as defense strategies, trade agreements, and military contracts. Key documents containing fabricated details were planted at strategic locations within the system, including encrypted emails, phone calls, and even leaked confidential meetings. To ensure the spies took the bait, Ibrahim used a few trusted insiders within the government to accidentally leak these documents to their handlers. Jean's team played a crucial role in planting the false intelligence. They meticulously crafted each piece of information, ensuring it appeared genuine and aligned with ongoing operations. At the same time, Kaba's team monitored the communications network for signs that the spies were biting. It didn't take long before the first signs of deception appeared. A few key operatives began to respond to the planted information, and soon, suspicious movements within the government were traced back to foreign handlers. Step 3. Military support and logistics. While the counterintelligence and decoy operations were in full swing, Ibrahim ensured that military support was on standby to act swiftly if needed. The military's role was crucial, not only in ensuring the safety of those involved in the investigation, but also in setting up rapid response teams should they need to conduct arrests or raids. These elite units were trained in covert operations and were always prepared to move quickly and efficiently. With the counterintelligence efforts paying off and the decoy operation revealing the spies' positions, Ibrahim knew that the time for action was approaching. The coordination between military and intelligence forces was seamless, ensuring that when the moment came, they would be ready to take down the network without giving them any chance to escape. Ibrahim's plan was simple but brilliant. It combined careful surveillance, misdirection, and overwhelming force, ensuring that the spy network would be neutralized before it could do any more damage to the nation. With every detail in place, Ibrahim was ready to strike. He knew that in a matter of days the enemy would be exposed. As Ibrahim's team continued their strategic counterintelligence operations, the decoy tactics began to yield significant results. The false intelligence planted across government channels had drawn the spies out of the shadows, exposing a web of agents embedded deep within the country's most sensitive sectors. This network, operating under the radar for months, was not just an isolated group. It was a coordinated effort by a foreign intelligence agency with the clear objective of destabilizing Burkina Faso and weakening its government. The spies had infiltrated critical sectors including defense, energy, and communications, where they could gather and pass on valuable intelligence to their foreign handlers. The information they had been siphoning off was being used to manipulate Burkina Faso's internal affairs, stir up civil unrest, and even provoke military tensions in neighboring regions. The stakes were high, and every move had to be carefully calculated to avoid triggering a wider crisis. With each passing day, the net was closing tighter around the network. Kaba and his team had been relentlessly tracking every lead, monitoring communications and deploying agents in key locations. They set up surveillance around the operatives and placed agents within government departments to intercept any further exchanges of information. The first major breakthrough came when one of the spies, an official in the Ministry of Defense, attempted to transmit a batch of classified military documents. The documents contain details about Burkina Faso's defensive strategies, military alliances, and future defense procurements. precious intelligence for any adversary. Ibrahim's team had prepared for this moment. As soon as the transmission attempt was made, a small task force of elite soldiers moved in, capturing the operative before he could send the documents abroad. This arrest provided an invaluable clue. It led the team to a hidden communication hub in the heart of the capital, which had been used by the foreign agents to coordinate their operations. It was there that the full extent of the spy network began to unravel. From this hub, Kaba and Jian discovered that the agents had been working in direct collaboration with high-ranking officials who were providing them with classified information. Each arrest thereafter was a small victory. As more spies were detained, they provided additional information about their handlers, their methods, and the identities of other operatives within Burkina Faso. Some were coerced into giving up their contacts in exchange for lighter sentences, while others were apprehended while attempting to flee the country. One of the most crucial captures came when a communications officer in the Ministry of Energy was arrested while trying to pass along critical details regarding energy infrastructure projects. The documents she attempted to transmit included plans for a new power grid, details of energy security measures, and the country's energy independence strategies. These were exactly the kinds of documents that could have crippled Burkina Faso's future development if they had fallen into the wrong hands. Each spy that was captured not only unraveled another layer of the enemy network, but also provided further insight into the foreign agency's ultimate goal: destabilizing Burkina Faso's government, sowing dissent among the people, and weakening the country's ability to defend itself against external threats. Ibrahim knew that the plot had been well funded and planned, but his team's success in apprehending these spies was a testament to their skill and dedication. The execution of the operation was proving to be a masterclass in counterintelligence, with every step forward ensuring that the threat would be neutralized completely. The final phase of the operation was now within reach. Ibrahim had the information and the operatives needed to launch a decisive strike. With his intelligence network intact and the captured spies providing vital intel, it was only a matter of time before the Foreign Intelligence Agency would be exposed for its covert operations against Burkina Faso. The operation had reached its most critical juncture. After weeks of painstaking work, the pieces of the puzzle were finally starting to fall into place. Ibrahim's team had captured several high-ranking spies, each revealing crucial information about the extent of the foreign infiltration. However, it was an interrogation of one particularly high-level operative that broke the case wide open. Under intense questioning, the operative, who had previously been a trusted member of the Ministry of Defense, finally cracked. With no more lies to tell, he revealed the identity of the mastermind behind the espionage network, a mysterious figure known only as the Broker. This individual was highly elusive, operating from a secure location in Ouagadougou and coordinating all the spy activities from behind the scenes. The Broker was rumored to be a shadowy figure who had evaded detection for years, using intermediaries and cutting-edge technology to stay hidden. The revelation sent shockwaves through the team. Ibrahim, ever composed, understood the gravity of the situation. The Broker wasn't just any ordinary operative. He was the linchpin of the entire espionage plot. Capturing him would not only dismantle the network, but would also expose the foreign government's funding and supporting the operation. Ibrahim didn't waste any time. With the location of the broker's safe house in hand, he called a meeting with his most trusted generals and strategists. There would be no half measures. Ibrahim personally led the final raid. His decision to oversee the operation himself was a message to both his enemies and his people. Justice would be served swiftly and without mercy. The night of the raid was tense. Ibrahim's elite forces, trained in urban warfare and counter-terrorism operations, moved quietly through the city's streets under the cover of darkness. Their target was located in a remote part of Ouagadougou, where the broker had fortified his position with armed guards and sophisticated surveillance systems. But Ibrahim's team was prepared for every contingency. They had mapped the safe house, intercepted the communications, and coordinated with local intelligence officers. The element of surprise was on their side. When the team stormed the safe house, it was with precision and overwhelming force. Within moments, the guards were neutralized and Ibrahim's forces breached the compound. Inside, they discovered a treasure trove of evidence, encrypted devices, hard drives, and documents, each piece implicating multiple foreign governments in the espionage plot. The broker had been at the center of an elaborate operation to destabilize Burkina Faso. And now, with him in custody, all his secrets were laid bare. The broker himself was captured without incident. Though he had fought back fiercely, he had underestimated the president's resolve. Ibrahim's soldiers were quick to restrain him, ensuring that he would face justice for his actions. As the broker was escorted out of the safe house, Ibrahim's team began the process of analyzing the confiscated materials. The evidence was damning. It showed how foreign powers had been working behind the scenes, trying to manipulate Burkina Faso's politics, economy, and security. The encrypted documents revealed communication between the broker and high-ranking officials from foreign governments, each one seeking to weaken Burkina Faso's sovereignty for their own gain. The plot had been more extensive than Ibrahim had ever imagined. With the broker in custody and his network dismantled, the true scale of the espionage operation was exposed. The danger to Burkina Faso was neutralized and the nation's security was restored. Ibrahim had not only outsmarted a network of spies, but had also sent a clear message. No matter how well hidden or powerful the enemy was, his commitment to his country and people would always prevail. With the espionage network dismantled and the broker captured, Ibrahim stood before the nation, ready to deliver a message that would resonate across Burkina Faso and beyond. The country had been pushed to its limits, but now, with the threat neutralized, Ibrahim spoke with the conviction and strength that had become his trademark. Burkina Faso will not bow to foreign interference, he declared, his voice echoing through the halls of the presidential palace and broadcast to every corner of the nation. We are a sovereign people and we will protect our independence at all costs. The words were not just a statement of resolve, they were a call to unity and strength. The operation had been long and difficult, but under Ibrahim's leadership, the nation had stood firm. The espionage ring had been exposed, foreign agents had been neutralized, and the sovereignty of Burkina Faso had been safeguarded. The operation was widely praised as a masterclass in counterintelligence and leadership. Ibrahim's meticulous planning, his unshakable resolve, and the precision of his team's execution had ensured success. Not only had he protected Burkina Faso's secrets, but he had also sent a powerful message to the world. No one would be allowed to undermine the country's independence. As Ibrahim watched the citizens of Burkina Faso celebrate, he knew that this victory was not just his. It was a collective triumph, one that affirmed the strength, unity, and resilience of the people who had trusted him to lead them. The danger had passed, but Ibrahim's commitment to his nation remained unshaken. Burkina Faso was stronger than ever,